Hi everybody. Good evening. Welcome to week 8 of Introduction to Mass Communication. Everybody is at home. If you're not at home, you're probably clubbing. If you're not clubbing, you're probably sleeping. You're probably eating to now and or completing your assignments. I hope everybody's good and well wherever you are. Please don't forget to do your final group report. Please don't forget to ensemble teams for your final group project. So with that, we are at week 8, and I hope everybody's fine and good. And our topic for today is on social media. Even though this is on Google Slides, these are my slides, so you don't have to worry about it whether I have got the slides from ChatGPT or not. Mind you, these are my points. Okay, so with that, for week 8, we go a little bit much more, I would say, relaxed, much more reflective in terms of the things that we have learned during these past 7 weeks together. And this week we cover on a very important platform that everybody right here loves to use, could not live without, which is social media. All right, so let's get started. Okay, social media, we have so many. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Pinterest, we have so many things. And with that, when we talk about social media, so again, in learning what introduction to mass communication is, there are different scholars or researchers in communication that define social media different from one person to another. And with that, John Stuck defined as the use of technology combined with social interaction to create or co-create value. Or PR professional on the second point says social media as a shift in how people discover, read, share news and information and content. It's a fusion of sociology, technology, and monologue into dialogue, many to many. And the last definition is an umbrella term that defines various activities that integrate technology, social interaction, and the construction of words and pictures, where people build, share meanings as people share their stories and understanding as well. So when we talk about social media per se, and looking at the 3 definitions right here, which would you say the most suitable definition according to you? So again, you yourself will have another different interpretation of what social media is to you. So again, in mass communication, there is no right or wrong answer in terms of the definition of social media, but more or less you see the points are much more similar. So again, when we talk about social media, it is to connect with one another. Before social media came about, we have to write a letter from Malaysia to United Kingdom will take, for example, 1 week or more than that. And at that point of time, there is only post Malaysia, the national courier service. There is no such thing as JNT. There is no such thing as other kinds of courier platforms at that point of time. And to connect with one another, you have to, for example, like a phone call. At that point of time, smartphones was not an in thing we used. When I remember my Nokia phone at that point of time, when I grew up, Nokia was the it phone that you want to buy. And that is only through SMS. To have calls, to have text, SMS is already a luxury for my age, which I'm already old. So with that, again, people, as I mentioned to you, people evolve with time. And again, I mentioned to you as well that to not take things for granted. These platforms that we have, all this mass media platform, is what we are today. without newspaper, without books, without TV, radio, recording, how would we evolve, and it through internet, and everybody can actually access TV, books, magazine, newspaper through one platform only. So again, we have to appreciate the advent of what social media is as well. So with that, we will again explore social types of social media platforms in our recorded tutorial sessions, maybe tomorrow. So with that, I will upload another video tomorrow. So with that, when we talk about social media, moving on to the second point of mine, social media in the news. When we talk about social media in the news, again, it was such an in thing to publish something online. When you publish something online, it's like a freedom of expression. At that point of time, when when baby boomers grew up, for example, my father, who is 74 years old as of this year, he has 5,000 followers in Facebook. Not that much, but again, for 74-year-old, that's quite a lot to me. So during that time when he grew up, he doesn't have a Facebook, and when I introduced him to a Facebook, he got so addicted that every single day when he goes up or wakes up, he has to log into his Facebook. And just like any other people were so excited with Facebook, with MySpace, with Friendster, or across coming online. And that's how you connect with people in your community. You reconnect lost connections and so forth. And with that, when we talk about news and the social media, viral information, because the freedom of expression is there, because nobody can stop you share your thoughts online. So that's how freedom of expression came about. And again, when we talk about social media, it has to be practiced when you use it with responsibility, because when you say something online, you impact people around you as well. So you want to say something that can actually add value to another person. So again, when we go through together these 7 weeks, I want to instill in you that every time when you go online or use all these mass media platforms, is to make sure that you benefit yourself. That's number one. To be critical is number two. If you want to create a content, it must be something value added, because sometimes there are so many things going online, but what is the particular objective of this particular video that you want to do, or this particular skit or comedy would you want to do? So that's how, as a content creator, you will become much better, because you have an objective. You want to become better from day to day. So that's how you help people around you as well, when through your content creation. Might it be you're a social media influencer, might it be your documentaries later on, might it be you are a filmmaker, or you are a journalist, you're an advertiser, you work in an agency, or you are somebody who is not in the media but likes to do something related to the media. Again, it has to be something that is good and can impact a certain group of people. So that's how I want you to actually foresee things before you create something, to think before you create something. So that is important. Okay, so with that, there is a particular show in Australia, in one of the cable shows, by the I Tanggang, by the name of I Tanggang series, where it is a compilation of Malay folk stories, and it was popular at a certain point of time during COVID-19. So that was that. And not related, but I would like to move on to this particular point right here, is that on social media influence. So again, the more we see things online through Netflix, the more immersed that we are, that sometimes we could not check out from that content that we are so immersed in. Do you ever feel that, for example, when you watch particular content, sometimes you want it to translate to reality? So for example, you see Grey's Anatomy, and all the hospitals and the doctors are good looking. So when you go to a hospital, I have a friend, during my time Grey's Anatomy was a hit, where when we see doctors who are not good looking, we say, what happened to this doctor? It's not like what we see on TV. So again, just like TV, social media is that as well. So again, if you look at this point right here, based on a true story of a US mother accused of poisoning her 5-year-old son to death with salt. And again, we have in 2011, in Great Britain, a childless 21 years old woman joined an internet forum for parents claiming to have 5 children, and chronically her non-existent babies battle with celiac disease and bacterial meningitis. And we have doctors at the Seattle Children's Hospital found 3 cases of mothers who falsely blogged that their children were nearly dead and were rewarded with support. With social media, it has drawbacks, it has benefits. Sometimes you can expose a person, expose the truth with social media, just like what happened specifically in Malaysia with a financial political scandal. One Malaysia development Berhad. My PhD thesis was mainly on that, so let me not go into that because that's boring. That's politics right there. So with that, when we talk about social media, some things, again, it comes back to how you use it. Some use it for the betterment, some use it for their own benefit and to get a opportunity that they could not seize when they go offline. So for example, again, when you use social media, it has to be balanced. So do more good so that you can benefit more people. So again, when you talk about social media influence, one thing would be, let me share with you, at one point of time, I was following this particular social media influencer, so pretty, so fit. At that point of time I was pregnant. I had a baby, and then she had a baby as well during COVID. And with that, she's so slim, and I started to compare myself with her on a day-to-day basis. She's much more richer, that's for sure. And with that, I was like, what's wrong with me? So it's in what, day by day, I started to feel pity, about myself, and seeing that, oh, what's wrong with me? So again, that is one point of how social media can influence you to be a little bit much more, not that confident, in looking at other people, who are much more successful, for example. But again, when we talk about social media, it comes back to my second point, if you can remember in our previous classes, is that people only show good things, good angles in social media. You don't just wake up, for example, and take your Instagram story like this, okay. For example, who actually takes a picture like this on social media and posts it on TikTok or in on Instagram story like this? Nobody. Why? Because everybody wants to look good, everybody wants to look sexy, everyone wants to look, really handsome, on social media, because we only want to portray our good side and not our bad side. Why? Sometimes, when you have that is what social media also brings to us, because we can choose what kind of things that we want to show to people, and that's how we don't bring our real self on social media. So again, when you use social media, it's good to exert positive influence, to exert real issues that you're going on. And with that, when you exert real issues, you will inspire people to look things in a different way. And if you can actually move one person to make that change, I personally think you are there already. So you are a good content creator. So again, these are things when we talk about social media influence throughout, how we see things, how we see other people, how we feel less about ourselves when we see other people who are much more successful. But again, it is human being. But again, when we go on social media, please do not compare yourself that you are much more worse than the person you see on social media, because with me, I believe that you are the bestest version that you are, and you are going to be better in 5 years down the road when you graduate and make me proud one day. So again, use social media as an entertainment, but have a limit. Don't go on TikTok 2-3 hours. Now I'm being like a mother, putting a head of a mother right here. Don't go on TikTok 2-3 hours and then and then from 11 a.m. now it's like 8 p.m. already, because you don't realize. So things that you see on social media also influence you. Twitter can be a little bit condescending, where people are much more negative there. So because it's short, and it's concise, so that's how people use it as well. So please be very careful in terms of that. And moving on to social media, the five Fives would be the five C's. I mean, the five C's in knowing what social in social media is. We have choice. People can choose any content, and again, with social media, people can, have a conversation between one another, and it is being curated where people have filters of their own image as well. All right. And the fourth one would be creation, where people can distribute cheaply and easily to a mass audience. Back then, media organizations took some time to realize that you can actually create money, through internet, and they have managed to establish a mechanism for that. So again, from time to time, people are still figuring out what's the best feature to maximize the potential of what internet is. And the fifth one is collaboration. So again, with internet, you can collaborate with one another and organize people, social movements as well, in terms of politics. When it comes to social media, look at Malaysia, giving an examples of the last Malaysian general election in 2022, where almost 18 years old, you yourself, go and vote. And that's how, social media works, to come, and vote. How is it important? And you talk that, you talk through online as well. And the types of social media, we have discussion board, chat rooms, blogs, microblogs, wiki, social networking site, emails. If you think emails are being used by old people, are you saying I'm old? So again, emails are a form of formal communication to one party to another as well. And again, when we talk about producers, when we talk about producing content in the digital world, is always about return of investment. You want to know whether you can actually have a profit out of it. And again, when we talk about producers, audiences who no longer are simply consumers but also produce content. So sometimes it doesn't only take, people who are only popular can produce content. You can produce your content. If you have the talent, you want to show people out there that you exist, you have this talent singing, you're such a comical guy, you can sing, you can act, you can do anything you want to do, TV hosting, you can do it. What is stopping you? So do it, maximize your potential. Because let's say if somebody says to you, you cannot do it, for example, you don't do it, you are too young, you're not that mature, tell them, I'm listening to Hannes and she said I can do it. Yes, you have that confidence. You have that confidence, and I believe you can do it. And with that, when we talk about internet, again, issues and producers would be when you are in the digital world, it's the reputation is, you don't know who is who, the ratings as well, the trust, the credibility. Sometimes your information can be, when you create things and be a content creator, your privacy is not there anymore. So again, you are allowing other people online to comment on your work. Sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be very detrimental, the comments to you. And again, it's very transparent. When you go on social media, people start to judge you already if you create content. So you must be a little bit tough if you want to go on screen and create content and project yourself, as somebody who is on the front line, in social media. So again, when we talk about moving on to the last part of the lecture today is the effects of social media. When we talk about the effects of social media, let's think whether the social media make people less social. Cyberbully, the social media makes us dumber. So these are arguments that we should reflect upon. If you look at netizens comment, people do actually cyberbullying with one another. Are people making people less social? I would say, when is the last time we actually talked to a person without a phone? I know sometimes it's difficult because sometimes you have to hang to your phone for emergency. But again, these are things that you should think about. Again, balancing social media, being present at that moment is important, and always aware with your surrounding. And that's how you become a good content creator. You become a good communicator. Yes. And with that, we go a little bit more, people. And with that, that's it. And with that, everybody, again, when we talk about social media, please use things appropriately, responsibly, with full of responsibility. And with that, use and do good for the people. If you're gonna do good, then do good for yourself first. When you do good for yourself, then you can inspire other people, to be like you as well. So with that, please, when you use all the social media platforms, appreciate all the platforms. Use mass media platforms, at the maximize your full responsibility in using social media. And with that, we can become a great communicator. Yes, that is a wrap for week 8 lecture. And with that, do we have in-class work? I will tell you tomorrow. And with that, thank you so much, everybody. And please stay safe and watch my recording. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye. See you next week.